Welcome back to EastValleyTribune.com and Varsity Xtra. Mark Heller here with Kyle Odegard. And before we jump ahead to Week 6 of the football season, we thought we would take a couple minutes and backtrack a little bit. I guess I'll start first with how a sort of summation of the first 5 weeks of the season. I'll start first. I was dead flippin' wrong about Campo Verde. I'll say that right now. New defense, a difficult section, moving up to Division II, and so far they're not the only ones, but they've made me look like an idiot. So
not hard to do.
Well, not hard to do is right. Well done, Campo Verde. You can do what many others have done, which is make me look like an idiot. We'll get to them a little bit later because they have a huge matchup with Marcos Deniza to begin their section play. But that was my first thought. My other thought was, I guess, we knew in Division I, we knew the top 4 teams had a pretty good idea that it would be Mountain Point, Hamilton, Chandler, Desert Ridge. And it's kind of played out that way. I'm a little bit surprised at just how good Mountain Point has been. I guess that's my biggest takeaway. And Division II, we thought Chaparral, Marcos, South Point, all Centennial, all were going to be in the mix, and I think at this point they have. So not much surprising, at least on my end, with that. I think the Campo Verde thing for me, and also, and it's great, Skyline and Westwood and schools like that are off to the starts they are, for me, are the 2 biggest parts of, on the East Valley side at least, of how the season has started.
Yeah, I think, like you said, Mountain Point being the dominant Division I team, we just learned that last week, beating Hamilton so good, but that's the biggest thing that comes to mind for me in the first 5 weeks is we actually have a new favorite in Division I. Even though Hamilton last year started 0-2, there wasn't anybody that really took that title away from them. It was a little bit muddled, and Hamilton was almost the favorite by default, but now it's clearly Mountain Point. I think in Division II, we thought Centennial would be in there, and we thought Chaparral was the best team. We ranked them preseason number 1. It's clearly South Point at this point. They dominated Marcos Deniza last week. They look unbelievable. I think Chaparral's still the second best team, but those have flipped. South Point's definitely the favorite at this point. Like you say, Campo Verde and Skyline, nice story so far. See if they can keep it up. The schedules get tougher for both of them. And Division III, we still don't know. Those teams, Saguaro, Queen Creek play this week, which will help. But those top 4 teams: Desert Edge, Saguaro, Queen Creek, Williamsfield. One of them, I imagine, will win it, but they haven't played each other yet, so we don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah, I'm not going to change my tune, at least in this case. If you go back 5 weeks and check us out from the preseason videos, I'm not going to change my tune, at least the higher divisions, of how things are gone or are going to shake out. I think you're right. Mountain Point definitely is a title favorite now. I still think Hamilton and Desert Ridge especially are going to be in the mix. Division II, South Point, several coaches think South Point's the best team in the state. Now, I'm not sure if they're better than Mountain Point, but they did rise to be the class of Division II. And like you said, and we're going to talk about Queen Creek Saguaro in a minute, but I think this week will help us a lot in determining that. And you're right, Division III is pretty wide open. I guess the biggest thing I'm looking forward to most for the next 4 to 5 weeks is basically these section games, because you're right, for a lot of schools like Westwood and Skyline that have gotten off to such great starts and deserve the praise that they get for those starts. Like you mentioned, the schedule is going to get much more difficult, so I want to see. I'm definitely curious to see just how much growth we've seen in Skyline and Westwood in terms of how well they can navigate what's coming up in the last month. Also, and I'll actually talk about this a little bit later as well, the mess at Corona del Sol with the coaching change and all that's gone on there. That school is in a whole lot of trouble, more so even than just being 0-5. Those are my big takeaways, at least at this point.
And then also Desert Mountain, Red Mountain, Brophy, all under 500 at this point. Really tough schedules. See if they can bounce back, try to get into the playoffs.
Injuries a problem with a lot of those schools.
Injuries, so I'd like to see them in the playoffs. They deserve to be there because they're such good programs, but they've got their work cut out for them.
Yeah, we'll see how the next 5 weeks shake out. If it's anything as good as the first 5 weeks, we're in for a pretty good photo finish of the 2013 season.